Boom! Rock and roll. What's going on, ladies and gents? It is Mind in a Minute Extended, round 2. Episode 2, shall I say. Now, whew, what a week, right? What a week. A lot has happened. I went through a lot. I'm sure everyone else has gone through a lot. But, we are always consistently meeting people that are on the same wavelength as us. I believe in the law of attraction of who you are and what you are is always bringing that energy back to you so you can see your own life metaphor and the people around you and your circumstances around you, how you are viewing the world through your mind's eye at that moment is how, and I feel for me, is how I'm viewing the world is the mentality I'm living in. But that's the shift that can be made every single moment. It's tough, man. This is all intellectual shit, in the end. It's all intellectual, and these are logical constructs. These are logical ideas. Always keep that in mind, and living the life. Fuck. That's tough, man. But darn right it's rewarding. Every time that you do it. I can notice that. You're going through trials and tribulations and struggles in life, but every time you say no to that vice, every time you say no to an unhealthy way of life, and and this is what I've been speaking about in my latest videos, I guess, is that awkwardness in self, the thing that comes to the surface, right? We spoke about it last time, about this wellspring that's inside of us, that, it's seeking to come out. It's really aching to come out of us. And it's not this whole misconception that it's just bliss, love, and light. Don't get me wrong. There are beautiful moments in life where you're with that energy as well. But a lot of the time, it's bringing up our old story, our old conditioning, our old ways of being, because you can't make way for the new stuff without getting rid of the old stuff first. So this is what's happening. The movement of the purging must be first. You gotta purge first, and then you can be filled with the new, with the rejuvenating. So we go through these processes of purging the unwellness within us, and then from there you're allowing that space for that new spirit or your newfound power. It's not even new; it's the power that always was to be in charge again, you know. And we can't always be winning our battles. Look, if you expect to win every single battle you're facing, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. That expectation's going to kill you. Face your trials and tribulations eye to eye. But when you lose or when it takes you, meet it eye to eye again and get back on that horse as best as possible. If you can, get back on that horse. It's not even if. It's not even if you get on that horse. Because you do, right? You don't fall down and never get back up again unless you died. That's the only time when you fall down and you don't get back up again is when you die. If you didn't die, you're getting back up again and you're living life. Question is, are you choosing to take responsibility and own it? You know? Know that that's your shit. That's yourself. It's your business that took you down and your doings. The world is the way the world is. Can't shift, move, or alter the way the world revolves. Only the self. Only the self can be the one that changes, you know? And that shifts the external because the internal construct is the viewpoint. So you shift the viewpoint and the view changes. The view physically changes. And you see something different. You're seeing it differently, from another angle, from another perspective. You're getting it differently. So making that shift on the inside, but then following through with conviction, with action, that's going to be what's challenging. That's going to be what's going to put us to the test. Do you know what I mean? And with this day and age of information and technology and all this stuff, look, I ain't saying anything new. I am saying far from anything new. You know what I mean? People thousands of years before me were speaking about this sort of stuff, and will be in thousands of years from now. It's not going to change. The principle of the game ain't going to change. You know what I mean? 1,000 years from now, do you think there's going to be no trials and tribulations? If there was going to be no trials, no tribulations, then the world would cease to be. There's no growth, there's no challenge. There's nothing, there's no opposing force if there's no challenge, which means you just are, and you're in an ultimatum and without continuum. You can't continue to become if you just are. Isness is, but isness is a state of flux. Isness is change. And that's why it's paradoxical, because it is. It is what it is, but the isness is shifting, is the shift. The shift itself is. So that's the trip, and it's living in the trip. And always being able to be flexible, So flexible in mind and how you encounter the world, how we're viewing the world, and how do we get stuck up on it. Remember I talked about last time? I think I did. But about aversion, no aversion and no craving. Two principal concepts to maintain equanimity to the world within and out of. And once again, and this is where it starts getting trippy, but there's no world outside of yourself. The world is all happening within yourself. The stimuli is within yourself. Every action that's happening is resonating within yourself. Every view that you see, every bird that flies across your vision, it's instigating that causality within you. So the world is happening within you, but don't get lost to think that it's only your world. That's not the truth. Truth is, we share worlds. Worlds beyond worlds beyond worlds. If you think there are 7 billion people on this planet, each individual a universe, and this is human beings only, then you start looking outside of our anthropocentric view that the human being is at the center of existence. You start seeing worlds beyond worlds beyond worlds. Do you know what I mean? So it's not just our world, yet our world happens within us. So we must dictate what happens within us and how we are going to participate. Like someone has negative energy, right? Let's say someone's crashing through that door, shouting abuse, and even starts punching me, right? And sure, I'm going to cop the hits, and it's going to hurt. But if I'm going to get angry about it or not, that's going to make the difference of what happens afterwards, right? Sure, I'm not going to say don't defend yourself, man. I'm not saying don't just cop it on the chin and be like, this is life, I can't do anything about it. Hell no. You'd be like, boom, what the fuck, man? Get the fuck away from me. Kung fu that shit. Out of your face. I don't need that. And that's the self-defense mechanisms, right? But that's got to be done with the psyche. The psyche has to defend the self. It has to protect the being who you are. And that comes with your own conduct, how you react to it and how you choose to mentally participate in that game. Once again, the person comes in, starts hitting and smacking it. And if I start getting angry and raging, I hate you, why are you doing this, See that? It's already creating this turmoil within myself. And that turmoil is like a hurricane, man. This is wave theory, yo. This is waves beyond waves beyond waves. You are creating these waves within yourself. So you perpetuate these waves, and are you saying, or do you believe that there are no repercussions of these hurricanes, these winds, and these waves? Do you think that in the moment the wind blows and that's it? We stand in the center of our own existence. We see an element of wind pass by us, yet we do not see the whole picture. How this wind is affecting trees, birds, animals, homes, plants, life. oxygen, movement in the atmosphere all around us. That's happening as above, so below. As below, so above. This is the interaction, and this is how they say, know yourself and thou shalt know the world. I don't know if that's the exact quote, but hey, something like that. But you know how this world is going around. You observe it, and I am in this world, 100% participant of. So you acknowledge this, and you look at nature, and you are a product of nature. So you must be operating on the same level of the principles of nature. So this action, reaction that you are perpetuating in yourself. Fuck you, I hate you, why are you yelling at me? Get the fuck out of my room. See these energy waves that get out of my brain, boom, I'm shooting them. But guess what? You're not shooting them out and they don't just keep going, they go right back at you, man. So you are throwing something out that is going to come back. And it's going to catch something on the way, man. It's not just going to be that itself. It's going to catch something and it's going to bring it right back to you because that is the reciprocation of life. And that is the feedback loop. And that is where 50-50. Life meets you halfway. You're throwing something, it's like, sweet, I'm going to put something there that is going to be... You're obviously asking for it. You're asking for the lesson. You're asking for the lesson that you are not aware of yet. But then the lesson comes back, right? You throw out negativity, the negativity returns to you. And you're like, shit. And maybe you come to the point that you acknowledge that that was on me. That was on me. Nobody else. No one chose to bring that negativity back. If people are throwing negativity at me, but then this is scenario B. Someone comes in, shouting, rule, fuck you, But I'm like, what's up? Like, woo, fuck you. Woo. No, man. Nah, fuck. No, fuck you. I love you, Deep down inside, the spirit of you, that's where we are together. That's where we are brother and sister, united family member. But you, the persona, the fuck you part of you, man, that ain't who you are. That's just a causality, a conditioning, a face, a mask, a picture, not the reality, not the canvas, not the paint, not the artist within. That's not who you are. That's not what you are. You are not these undisciplined emotions. The spirit within is the grandiose of teachers, and sits there. And it's not a teacher that's like an overbearing mother or a father where it's gonna just hold your hand every time. Oh, what? No, Timmy. No, we can't do that. No, oh, we should. Oh, okay. It's tough, man. If you are in your own ignorance or your own foolishness and non-acknowledgement of principles of happening, then it is going to be like, cool, because it acknowledges what the principles are. And says, sweet. So obviously you don't know yet. You don't know yet of how the laws of nature work. And if you're not acknowledging this, it is my duty to show you or lead you the way to understand. And the only way for you to understand that falling is fucking painful, yeah, you guessed it. You're gonna have to hit smack face into the concrete. And that's where you realize, ooh. Saw a kid at the skate park the other day, man. He didn't get too hurt, but like he went down and he was my face. It's so painful. And this is, I'm not laughing at him. I'm laughing because I know exactly how you fucking feel, man. You don't think that these bung wrists and this elbow and my knees are not from not falling? I get it, man. It's not funny, but like I didn't laugh at the time. I look back and I laugh because I'm making a joke about it because of just explaining the metaphor. But that's the way, man. And that kid learned. That kid learned that concrete is fucking tough. And you can see it, but you can see it in his eyes. Afterwards, this is what I say to people as well. People like, I skateboard and People think, hey man, dude, you skate, it looks so much fun. Yeah, I'm gonna skate too. And you're like, oh, yeah, sure, go for it, man. Yeah, jump on a board and take it easy. Don't get drunk and skate either. Take it easy. You kick, push, go down a hill, see how you feel, and then let me know how you go, and maybe we'll kick, push together. And once they have their first big fall, right? My younger brother was the same. I was like, oh, I want to skate, He saw me skating. I was like, sick, this would be awesome. He'll skate. He had his first big fall. He did not want to skate after that. He did not want to skate. So that's a differentiation of will you do the thing afterwards? Will you continue to persevere after the fall? And once again, it's not for everyone, but this is why you just got to be careful about how you're stepping into things, how you're approaching circumstances. Sure, the great stack is going to teach you, and really it's going to challenge your level of commitment, to the cause. Not just about skating. Once again, listen to the metaphors. Listen to the metaphors that life is throwing at you. This is the way that life speaks to us and communicates to us, is through these metaphors, right? It's always throwing these at you, the pictures. You have to decipher these pictures, these symbols, the symbols that life is at, the falling, the crash, the pain, overcoming, the struggle, and the re-emergence of self after that, after transition, like the caterpillar to butterfly, the metamorphosis that happens there. Will you become the butterfly? And in the end, I was going to say that we all do become a butterfly, but some might just die in the cocoon, you know? Never to take a step, never to take a risk, never to open up to that feeling. But guess what? And this is coming into my own belief systems or my understanding. It's not a belief system, it's understanding for me. This ain't my first life. It won't be my last, you know? My body, I can feel how fickle it is, This, physical, finite, material structure is just a material structure. But what underlies it, my spirit, the vitality of it shows me that it will continue after this has done its deed, you know? So this is the understanding that you take with you and try and implement with this understanding to be fearless. You know? This ain't the last life, ain't the first life. I'll keep going until I reach perfection, until I keep becoming better and growing into the great oak tree that I am meant to be. Or I'm not even meant to be an oak tree, I'm meant to be a palm tree. I'm meant to be a eucalyptus tree. I'm meant to be a flower, I'm meant to be a daffodil. I'm meant to be a swarm of bees, everyone has got their own purpose in life. But everyone, nonetheless, we are all different in that sense, that we are all going to be creating and becoming something different. But the principles that we go through, the falling, the crying, the pain, the struggle, the overcoming, the reemergence, that is the same no matter what for every single individual, and doesn't make a difference. Does not make a difference what it is that you're doing. Those are going to be the same. So how are you going to overcome that? And how you're not going to continue on the same mistakes. And dude, I am guilty. 2000% I'm guilty of repeating my same mistakes, right? I know it. I'm stupid. I'm fucking stupid. I'm doing this shit. But I am being gentle, knowing that if I'm keeping on making this mistake, all these other vices slowly wean themselves out. And that's what I mean, the purging, right? So as you continue on the path, you are purging these impurities, and you start to survive, and you start to notice the vitality. But then what's happening is it's now, okay, well, you've purged this one, now you've got something deeper to bring up. It allows that to come to surface. So you're allowing it to come to surface. So it's challenging, and you might fall once, you might fall twice. Man, how many times do I fall until I can get that kickflip, or I can get my fakie rock, or my rock 180? Like, these tricks take time. These skills take time to learn, and that's why, for me, skating is a great metaphor for life. Continual practice towards a task, and repetition. Keep falling, but keep getting up again. You know, And now my challenge is now to apply these principles to the other elements of my life, like my music or my acting or my massage, creating work for myself, you know, finding my my where I am and where I stand in this whole system. You know, money's got to be made as well, you know, like don't deny it. Like I need to make money. I need money to survive. And if you're a dreamer, or if you have ambitions, it's going to cost money. This is the truth of it. So now I want to be intelligent about that. So now I'm also cultivating more business mentality. You know what that word means, what a business is to me. You know, and get away of the negativity and just look at it purely and see what business means and what kind of business do I want to create here. You know, am I going to live a monk life? I don't think so. I practiced Vipassana meditation, and look, to be honest, I've only done 2 10-day courses last year, and this year I've been practicing for a year only, but still, in those 10 days, man, I'm sitting for 10 days. You live like a monk, you know, you sit, you eat, you sleep, you sit, you eat, you sleep, you know, you're sitting, you meditate, you meditate, you meditate. But I can't help it, you know, I've been born and raised in middle class Brisbane, and I have these passions and drives towards certain avenues of creation, and I don't want to be feeling guilty about that and thinking that has to be thrown away to be going into my my liberation in life, you know. And sure, to be in this life, maybe enlightenment is not going to take, you know, the Buddha was enlightened at 35. I can't remember exactly, 34, 35. And sure, if I dedicate myself to the principle and to the practice, you know, every day I threw all this away. I renunciated from this material life and decided to live in for that pursuit alone. I think I could attain enlightenment, or you know, at least I'll be working towards it quicker because you'll be, you know. But I am acknowledging that I am also somewhat of an artist. Inside, there is an artist in me that wants to express, that wants to share, hence why we are here right now. We're talking, you know, and I like this, you know, there's something about me that likes doing this. I want to share, I want to be open, I want to discuss these topics. I love reading, I love understanding, I love to create, be vulnerable, you know, and that's my journey. This is how I'm applying myself towards my freedom, you know. Liberate myself on stage, take that energy, liberate myself in real life. It's like when I take psychedelic drugs, you know, mushrooms, whatever, they teach me stuff in that realm, but then that's not the place to be all the time. I take those teachings and then I bring it back into real life. You know, how to incorporate that into real life. What that meant to me to be immersed in life that deeply, you know, and learning on that level and getting the teachings and then incorporate that and intertwine that into my reality back again in physical, normal, sober life. Just like that on the stage and acting, I learned these skills of confidence, breaking barriers, and then I take it to life. So, whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that you enjoy, your hobbies, your passions, the small thing, the walks, those are the places in that state of play. When you're in a state of play, that's when we are learning highly efficiently. Because when you're playing, there's no ambition to be. You know, you are. You are playing. You're not being playing, you are playing. And you're learning skills along the way. If you're running, you know, you're learning how to efficiently run more. If you're enjoying the jogging, if you're playing tennis, if you're reading, you learn to read efficiently. You know, this works, that doesn't work. And that's how life is teaching us. That's why life teaches throughout the ages. You know, this technocratic world that we're living in right now of computers and information everywhere, sure, that's one way to learn, but life shows you in these manifestations and in the metaphors, in the practice of engaging with life itself on the physical level. In the physical, be in your body and be actively involved with life. It's not just a mind game, you know. I get caught up and I get freaking psycho if I'm just sitting at a computer doing stuff, you know. But there are things I got to do on the computer, and that's my challenge. Remember to come back to my body and do that challenge. So, you know, coming back and interacting with life instead of reclusing away from life. I understand why that happens. I do that. You know, life is intense. I'm not saying be out there all the time. You need to be in yourself, but engaging in whatever fashion you like. Even when I go shoot hoops sometimes on my own, it feels like it's a tango between me and God, me and creation. You know, that hoop is nothing. You know, doesn't move, doesn't do anything. Yet the ball bounces off it in so many different ways. But when you start understanding how it works, you know when you're like, oh, it's going to bounce back that way, you know? So you start understanding how that works, how that interaction is working, and you get to be better at it. You know, you get to be better at how do I work with that hoop, with this ball, you know? How am I going to create a fluid relationship with that thing? And to me, that's a relationship with creation, you know? Because that hoop has got every single principle of physics embedded into it, as does the ball. These said, you know, things that are not alive, the pen, the phone, the light, you know, everything, but everything has the principles of creation in it. So it does not operate outside of life. So that's pretty much most of the topics that I was talking about. And the one thing about the story that I was saying about the man and his son and his horse, you know, like how good things happen, bad things happen, and he's like, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out, and we'll see what that means. And even if we get to a point where a certain realization happens, how do we know that's the totality of understanding? You know, I was playing a song today, and one of the lines meant something different. If you read a book now that you read 10 years ago, I'm sure you would get a different meaning out of it because you live life now, you know? So it's always different. Stay flexible, stay open, you know? But still know how to do your kung fu. Know how to keep yourself protected. The world is not an easy place. The world is full of a lot of negativity, as much positivity. Alright? Never forget that. Some people are out there to get you. Some people, I said it, man, the world sometimes is out here to fuck you, you know? It wants to fuck you. But that's the pressure. That's the pressure that you can't back down from. So acknowledging that, and that's the shadow work, you know? Knowing your shadow, knowing your darkness, knowing your vices and your evils, and being at peace with the evils, and the energy that comes from that. And no bar for BS, you know? And I'm not a person that's saying that I'm 100% there. Man, got like light years to learn. But I'm just here to share some insights along the path that I have understood. But be tough. Be tough. And being tough isn't being, you know, blocked from the world. Being tough is be able to be open to it, yet not let it affect you in the sense of letting it go, moving through with it, moving with the river, and yet having stability in the mountain. See, paradoxical. You know, creation is, it's very mystical in that way. That's why it's mystical. It goes contradictory to how you would normally perceive things to be. But that's how it is. See? And that's as human being comprehending this sort of information. That's why we're on this freaking crises in ourselves, you know? Thrown asunder by this perplexing phenomena of life. That's why I keep saying it. Keep not telling. Be at peace. Be at peace. Even a moment of peace is precious. Gold and its richness. So find your peace. And that's the piece of the puzzle that you bring to the table. So please, be at peace. And find it in whatever fashion that you can. And share it with me. Share it with other people. Share it to yourself. Most of all, with metta, with love to yourself. Be at peace. So thanks again, guys. This is episode 2. Mine did a minute extended. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll be back next week. I'll make sure to do it. Ciao. Adios.